We are back with our next Understanding the Officer video. We have been cruising through all of the Generation 1 officers and we are nearing the end. We have got a handful of Generation 1 officers left, but we're getting close. This video is going to be focused on Saber of the Nation. Let's go ahead and get started. Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you are all doing well. I hope life is going well for each and every one of you. We've made a lot of progress on these Understanding the Officer videos. A lot of them have had a lot of success. It seemed to help a lot of the newer player base in Warpath, which is definitely a good thing. That was the intended idea when I started this series, but we have covered most of the Generation 1 officers at this point. We've got a handful left. We are closing in on completion of all of the ground force officers, and then we will transition to the Generation 1 Air Force officers. But today's focus, like I said, is going to be Saber of the Nation. But before we jump in and start taking a look at Saber of the Nation, if you enjoy videos like this, if you are a new player and get value out of videos like this, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. All right, now let's go ahead and jump in and take a look at Saber of the Nation. So as many of you know, if you are a brand new player in Warpath and haven't had a chance to actually experience the exclusive lounge yet, you most certainly will soon enough, but Saber of the Nation is the first exclusive lounge officer that you are going to have access to, and he is an artillery-specific officer. Now, way back when they first introduced the exclusive lounge, Saber of the Nation was not only the first officer that we had access to, he was the only officer for quite a while. So everybody just, naturally kind of invested into Saber of the Nation, considering he was the only option at that time. Now, he is not. He will be for your first round of the exclusive lounge, and then you will start to, depending on how old your server is, will start to gain access to other exclusive lounge officers. You've got artillery officers, tank officers, Air Force officers. So you've got the whole run there on different types of officers. So if you are primarily an artillery player, then definitely maybe consider Saber of the Nation after watching this video. And then if you're a tank officer, maybe you kind of just skip over Saber of the Nation, wait for a tank officer to come out and invest in one of those. But with that being said, let's go ahead and run through Saber of the Nation. So his first skill, his tactical skill, deals damage to an enemy. Damage coefficient is 1200. Increases the skill damage coefficient by 100 for each additional map grid between the troop and its target. So you can get upwards depending on who you have paired with him. If you've got like an Antonina Shevchenko or a Lady Liberty that can extend out to that 5 grid range in the open field, you're going to be doing some pretty decent damage with that tactical skill. His second skill, pretty much irrelevant on any artillery officer because artillery units are so weak, just generally speaking anyway. Increases the damage resist of this officer troop by 15%, largely irrelevant in the grand scheme of things. This right here is one of the big values for Saber of the Nation. He's going to increase the damage intensity of the artillery troop against tanks and helicopters by 20%, so that is a big asset. And then when this officer's artillery troop attacks an enemy with less than 50% HP, increases the troop's damage intensity by 30%. So as you're weakening the target troop, you're going to start dishing out even more damage on top of that. So that's a pretty devastating skill as well. Now, this is by far probably the biggest appeal or draw to Saber of the Nation. It is his fifth and fully awakened skill, so you will not get access to this until you fully awaken him if you choose to invest in him. But the attacks of this officer's artillery troop have a 30% chance to instantly activate the Saber of the Nation's tactical skill. And when it hits, you'll be engaged in a fight, maybe artillery versus artillery, some cases artillery versus tank or infantry, whatever the case is. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, even before your tactical skill bar is all the way full, you're just going to see the enemy unit just lose a ton of health in units, and it's because you were able to activate that skill, via that 30% chance. It hit, and it hit hard, and so that is one of the big draws to Saber of the Nation, because pound for pound, now that they've added quite a few new exclusive lounge officers like Red Heat, for example, and Lady Liberty, those two officers, just generally speaking, are overall better officers than Saber of the Nation in terms of damage output and their skills. However, this 5th fully awakened skill here for Saber of the Nation is a big draw and what keeps him largely relevant. So overall, while he is a early game officer, first one you're going to have access to via the exclusive lounge, he definitely withstands the test of time. Again, there's going to be just, you know, if you're comparing apples to apples, there's going to be some other exclusive lounge artillery officers that are overall better officers, but this 5th skill truly is kind of what keeps him relevant. And then his 3rd and 4th passive skills there, which are going to increase the damage intensity, certainly do not hurt anything either. Now, a couple of potential officer pairings for Saber of the Nation. Again, going back to his first skill, his tactical skill, the farther away the target is from your troop, the additional damage the more additional damage coefficient you are going to get with that tactical skill. So, you know, naturally, Antonina Shevchenko is going to be kind of a natural fit there. That's who I personally run him with, simply because you're going to get that 5th grid, which is obviously always an advantage in open field fighting, but you're going to have that extra grid, which is going to add an additional potential damage coefficient of 100 to that, depending, of course, on where the target you're targeting is at. Lady Liberty, which is another exclusive launch officer, she's going to come in to play later in the game for you new players. She also is going to offer a additional skill or additional grid of firing range, so that is an option too. But I wouldn't put a lot of stock in that unless you plan to invest heavily into the exclusive lounge, simply because Saber of the Nation and Lady Liberty are both exclusive lounge officers, so trying to balance the two of them out, it's going to take some time unless you invest, you know, quite a few $1,000s. As always, I try to keep these videos short, to the point, and relevant, and packed with as much value as I possibly can get into these shorter videos. If you have any thoughts, concerns, questions, opinions, all of the above, let me know in the comments below. If you have stuck around and made it this far into the video, if you've got access to Discord and are not already in our community Discord server, the link to that is going to be in the description of the video. Click on that link. It will take you right into the community Discord server, whether you are a new player and have additional questions and want to learn, or if you're a veteran player and just want to come hang out and get to know more people in the community. It doesn't matter. Absolutely everybody is welcome. As always, thanks for taking the time to watch the video today, and we'll see you on the next one.